This is Cutting Down the Nets. It is Saturday, March 5th. It's a giant day, so we'll get right down to business. This is record for the year. Everything is up to date with the exception of Portland in their conference tournament against San Diego. I need Portland by 2.5. Some of you may have got a better number than that. They're currently up 7 with 8 minutes to go. Let's dig right into the schedule. I got to warn you, here's the deal. I do my thing, and I I don't care about any like contrarian stuff. I know there are a lot of bettors out there that basically don't do any research other than try to sniff out fishy lines. That's not me. That's assuming the public wins 0%, professional gamblers win 100%, and if I see value, I'm betting the game. But there are some fishy lines that I mean, hook me right in the gills, and certainly dangerous. So you have to make your own decisions. Um, you're big boys and girls, and I think you're capable of that. This is sorted by tip time. As a reminder, Paddy is recent adjusted efficiency. Adjusted efficiency accounts for pace and opponent when matching up teams. And I consider this to be like the results column. What have you done versus whom, regardless of pace? The shot quality is more information in the description of this video on all this stuff, but shot quality is more the process. What type of shots are you taking, and what's the expected value of those shots? So you kind of have results and process. When they're both aligned, it's really good, but I will lean heavily towards results, but reference shot quality often. So everything is sorted by tip time here. These first two conference tourney games, I do not have lines on yet. The first trap game I'm going to run into is the Hogs at Tennessee. Tennessee is a tough place to play. Tennessee plays really good at home. The 7 makes no sense. And instead of like galaxy braining it, I'm just going to take the +7. I mean, you're getting 3 possessions here, and I'm in. So the Arkansas offense has actually been efficient without hitting any perimeter shots. Their defense has slipped a bit, even though they are defending well on the perimeter, because they've just got crushed on the boards recently. So Tennessee's only poor offensive game in the last 6 weeks came against Arkansas. So look, there's value here. I understand it'll probably be popular. I just don't care. That's just how I play, and I understand if you're scared off by the like, oh, it seems too good to be true. It's up to you, and that's how I'm going to take it. A lot of orange games here. Orange means, yeah, I might go there, but I need some pushing. Pushing could come from like, oh, like 2 other handicappers I respect are on this side, and they gave good reasons for it. But typically it's all right, the line moved a little bit more. Like all of a sudden that 9 I'd have to swallow against Villanova became like a 10.5. It'd be like, okay, all right, I'm in. Let's do this. So that's typically what an orange is. So as of like right now, um, midnight on Friday night, Saturday morning, I'm not playing them, but I can easily be pushed over the edge. So Nova Butler, Virginia, Louisville. I will note, I mean, Louisville's a train wreck, but Malik Williams, their big man, is like in the doghouse, out of the doghouse, in the doghouse, out of the doghouse, and it appears that he will be starting and playing a full complement of minutes. So he is currently out of the doghouse, but yeah, that's pretty sketchy. Davidson, Dayton, yeah, Fairfield, St. Peter's. I put notes in all these games. Again, I'm just looking for a little push. If the line moves the opposite way, meaning the little bit of value I was showing got less, I just set it out. Or at the last minute, I bet it because I'm a degenerate, just like you guys. Marist at Niagara. It's close. Niagara's been very inconsistent on offense and defense, and they've also been lucky with 3-point defense. But I don't know that they're a high variant team right now. That makes it hard to predict. The hook going right for my gills. Here it is. I understand Middle Tennessee has like covered every game this year. I understand that like people always bet them, and here's the deal. Like, go ahead, look at the matchup. Like, they're gonna get a plenty of good looks from 3-point range because that's kind of where Old Dominion funnels you. Old Dominion themselves just shoot inefficient shots. Like they rely on the mid range and they're not particularly good at it. And we're getting 2 points. So, like, fine. Let's go. Indiana Purdue's on my radar. It's a data play, but it's a little bit thin. Ultimately, the reason I'm interested is I don't think Purdue can get enough stops to cover a 10. So that's why I like the Indiana side. But that guard play for the Hoosiers is just atrocious. NC State at Florida State. Hold your nose, but Florida State's off 2 close wins, and I think that might give some people like the confidence that Florida State is fixed, but their adjusted offensive and defensive efficiencies have remained pretty constant, and it's pretty bad. But both these teams are bad. It's just a numbers play. Getting 7.5 feels right in this spot. So going to be a lot of dunks and layups because neither team defends at all. Pittsburgh, Notre Dame. Look, I like Notre Dame. Think it's a get-right spot, but you're asking for a lot to lay like 13 points in a possession or in a game that could have 60 possessions. This shows as a play on Texas San Antonio. I'm not going to go there. I mean, it's a pretty good matchup for Rice, and I don't trust the Roadrunners at all. ASU's kind of, I'd say back, but they were never there. I guess back from what I expected, just with Hurley getting some good transfers, and I don't know, just hasn't worked out, but certainly played well defensively of late. Their offense is always a concern. The reason I haven't bet this game is there's just an extreme rebounding edge for Stanford. So, yeah, and this 11 is probably closer to like a 9 because I think Stanford had a 66 adjusted offensive efficiency in that nightmare game against Cal. So just something to note there. Will I play that game? Maybe. I just don't know, but I'm not playing it right this minute. Loyola Chicago at my alma mater, or not at my alma mater, in Arch Madness neutral court game. This is kind of where I see it right now. Loyola around 4, so we'll see where the line comes in, but I'd expect it to be close there. Yeah, I just don't know what that will be. VCU St. Louis, little concerns there about VCU offense, but that defense is for real. I did play Siena +3, and if you look at the matchup in this game, I mean, and when I look at matchup, it's like, okay, 2-point offense versus 2-point defense, near proximity offense versus near proximity defense, perimeter offense, perimeter defense, turnover edge, rebounding edge, free throw rates, like all that stuff. So when I say matchup, it's many factors. It's not just like these two teams. There's just slight edges kind of everywhere for Siena, and I get that it's on the road, but those little edges just kind of add up for me, and felt there was enough value. Shot quality supports it as they favor Siena slightly, so getting a full possession there felt like good value. Monmouth and Ryder. Monmouth just, I think they're like 19-10. They have not played efficiently for a long time. So that's one of those orange games, like, get that up to the KenPom number, and I probably play the Ryder side as like a +3, but just kind of monitor that one. Cal, Arizona. So I'm going to plug another guy on Twitter. I've sent you to many people on Twitter over the last few months, but Evan Maya, evanmaya.com. He does a lot of cool data analytics stuff, and he kind of created a metric called kill shot, and a kill shot is like a 10-0 run. So how frequently do teams go on 10-0 runs, and how frequently do they allow 10-0 runs? And Arizona is like one of the top kill shots in the country. So to back a +22, knowing that a kill shot could come at any minute and eat up half of that, always scares me. But certainly showing as a lot of value for Paddy just makes me a bit nervous, given the ceiling of Arizona. These SWAC and MEAC games always look good on paper, and then they never go like as expected because, I mean, that's what you get when you bet on teams that can't shoot, can't defend, um, turnover, and give up the ball and foul like every possession. Like it's just they're high variant games, and I'm just starting to learn my lesson on that 4 months into the season. Mercer Furman, pretty aligned here around 7.5, 8 points whenever that line comes out. Northern Colorado, Montana State, showing us a little value for Montana State. But Northern Colorado finds themselves in lots of shootouts. Now, a shootout is because you give up a lot of points, but a shootout is also because you can score in bunches. So that's a lot of points to cover, full 2 possessions against a team that can kind of light up the scoreboard. Drake, I mentioned on yesterday's video that are without their best defender. Southern Illinois was a pretty popular play with some sharp handicappers today, and Drake got it done. So good for Drake because they've had some bad injury luck every freaking year, and they've had some real good teams. So in this spot, I have Drake favored by about a possession, but you would have put Wilkins on Mosley from Missouri State. So yeah, it's a problem for sure because Mosley's a streaky guy. He can score in bunches. So we'll kind of see how that game goes. Jacksonville State. You'll notice this big shot quality disparity, but I really dug into this matchup, and here's why I'm going to play the Jacksonville side, and already did. I think we're going to be around 60 possessions. So for one, it's just a elite grinder of a game. And I think this Jacksonville defense is real. But ultimately, I mean, here's what the story of the game is to me. And I've seen other people comment on this. You can pull up the matchup on Bart Torvik and look at these profiles. And Jacksonville State is one of the best 3-point percentage teams in the country. And Jacksonville is one of the best 3-point percentage defense teams in the country. So something's going to give, and maybe they just kind of hold serve, and it's kind of a meh performance. But I think a meh performance gets us there for Jacksonville plus 6.5. I kind of like this Brown-Yale game. A little scared off by shot quality, but I'm kind of interested in that. I don't like to lay points a whole lot, but yeah, Brown's not been playing well lately. Georgetown Xavier, look, man, I get it. It's not fun to bet on awful teams, and Georgetown's one of them. But Xavier's been very middle of the road. So asking a very middle of the road team to cover 2 touchdowns is a big ask. And I put on here, not an official stat, but it feels like Georgetown leads the country in 10-0 runs in the final minute 40 while down 24 to cover like 15-point spread, 16-point spread. So it's orange for me, and we'll just kind of see where that goes. Oregon State and Washington. Washington's been sneaky decent lately, but 9.5 points is a lot. I would favor that side, but don't have a bet there yet. Southern Utah, Weber State. Southern Utah is a high variance team, but Weber State, while more consistent, just hasn't played well for a long time. Like the last time they played well was December, which is why a model like Paddy that weights recent play is going to ding them quite a bit. So I think the line's actually pretty fair. I mean, if you look across the board, I grabbed a 5. Could go up, could go down. I don't know. Look, I don't like to lay points on the road, but I dug into the Stephen F. Austin Rio Grande game. I just don't have any concerns about this game. Now, I won't bet any more than I do on any of the other games. I'm a 1-unit bet kind of guy, and I recommend that you do the same. But, yeah, I mean, one, it's kind of a pace-up game. So some of the games in that conference get a little slow, and that's hard to cover bigger numbers. This should be fine with pace. There's a massive offensive rebounding edge, which is key for a Stephen F. Austin team that if they don't turn you over, can struggle offensively. So knowing that you can get some second chance points is nice. Also, I mentioned if they don't turn you over, but boy, they're going to turn you over. They're like top 5 in the country in turnovers, and Rio Grande just gives it up. So I'm in. Again, um, don't overextend yourself. I'm not betting any more on this game than I am on any of the other ones. We get Moorhead and Murray, seeing if we can get the 2-bid OVC. I will likely update these numbers just because they both played today. So any of these conference tournament games, I'm going to pull in data from their most recent game and just see how it affects things. I would update the spreadsheet, but just something to note. USC, UCLA. UCLA has struggled with USC's size, particularly Tiger Campbell has struggled against bigger defenders. Looks like Juzang is questionable, but it sounds like on the good side of questionable. And USC usually owns the boards in their matchups outside of like Stanford, but UCLA is a really good rebounding team. They just value possessions. It's so weird. Like they're so close to being a team that I could really get behind. They protect the ball. Like they truly value possessions. If they miss, great rebounding team, kind of like a Houston. But my God, they just shoot so many what I refer to as auto bench jumpers, that mid range. Just hate the mid range, but they shoot like 42% from there. But uh, look, just stop shooting mid range shots. But it's working for them, so whatever. I just think they're capable of being more like a Houston team, and this keeps them a notch below just with their shot selection. But hey, they're able to get looks there. It works for them. Mick Cronin knows way more about basketball than I do. I assure you that. San Francisco will get BYU. No line on that, obviously. And looks like Portland went final, winning by 18. So they will get Santa Clara. And another nice hit for us. Final fishy play of the day is riding this hot running Rebels team in a very, very difficult road environment. The Pit's a tough place to play. Last game of the year, should be rowdy. But UNLV's fully healthy, and they're playing really well. And Bryce Hamilton's that guy. I mean, that guy. And they've got some ancillary pieces that are strong as well. So, this is what I'm looking at. Again, if you follow me, you know it's usually pretty dog heavy, usually pretty road team heavy. You do you. Use the spreadsheet. Find the value in the games that you want. And then I'll have those conference tourney games updated in the morning. So once the lines come out, I'll kind of add some matchup notes and things like that. And if I make a play, it'll be on BetStamp. And if you're following the handicapper that does not transparently display results, run away. Seriously. This is Cutting Down the Nets. Let's have a good March.